Today I'm going to show you how to issue a credential with Paradym in under 5 minutes. My name is Timo. I'm one of the co-founders of Paradym, and we built Paradym to make working with verified credentials easier. Because it's still very hard to do today to set up the infrastructure to start issuing and verifying credentials. Today I will show issuing an employee badge for when an employee joins your company. We'll start out by creating a workflow. We'll call the workflow Issue Employee Badge. The workflow will redirect us to the workflow editor, and this is where you build your workflow. A workflow consists of a set of actions that will execute in order to perform your business logic. So let's start with adding some actions. First action we'll add is create connection. This action allows us to connect to the Paradym wallet that we have on the right. And we can then, once we have a connection, issue a credential to it. Next up, we want to issue the actual credential. We'll get in the template for issuing the credential action. And then we need to reference the connection ID. We created this in the last step, and I can reference it using the $.sign. This can reference the action output from other actions. So I can do $.createConnection.output.connection.connection ID. Next, we want to define the credential that we want to issue. We need to define a credential definition ID, which is the credential template and defines which attributes the credential needs to contain. I created this beforehand, and so we can just copy paste it here. Next, I need to define the attributes. The attributes for this credential template are name, title, and access level. But now, if we were to run this will issue the credential, but it will be static data. Normally we want to make the input data dynamic. So we can define input attributes. So for the input, I can specify that we want to have an object as input with a certain set of properties. The properties in this case are the name, which is a string. We have the title, which is also a string. And finally, we have the access level. This is a number and has a minimum value of 1 and a maximum value of 5. I can add the description. Choose a value between 1 and 5 to make it more clear, and I can also add a title to make it render nicely in the generated form. So once we have defined that, we can actually reference these values here. So I'll do the same $.dot syntax to reference, and I will now reference the input here, and I can reference the name. Oops. And I can reference the title and the access level. Great. Now we have a workflow, we have defined the input, and we have defined which actions need to be executed. I can save it, publish the workflow, and then finally I can go to the execution step to execute my workflow. Normally, you would probably integrate this through our API, where you can run the workflow and define the input. For now, I'll use the dashboard, where we can manually execute the workflow. I'm going to issue the credential to our lead Paradym developer, Jan Rietveld. Lead Paradym developer, and he has an access level 4. I will execute the workflow, and it will get into a running state. Once it's running, it will start executing the actions, and it will actually stop in a bit on the create connection, because we first need to complete this step before it can go to the next action. We'll scan this QR code, which you normally probably can show in an email or on your web page, and we can scan that with the Paradym wallet. It will load the invitation, and once it has connected, the workflow will be running again, and it will issue the credential to the wallet. So now, on the right side, we see that we have an employee badge with the fields we just defined, and that the create connection is now completed. I will accept this into my wallet, and now the credential has been issued. It will be running again, and now it's completed. That's all it takes to issue a credential in Paradym.